Hello traders, this is Rich from tradesight. This is a look at our market leading stocks via our scans for Wednesday, March 26, 2014. Got kind of a mixed day today going on the Nasdaq patch as far as signals go. Uh, we are seeing a fair number of downside CPS signals. The Nasdaq is definitely relatively weak versus the broad market. Got deviations here in First Solar and also Sina to the downside, so we're going to see some pretty strong candles to the downside on the charts. Got a couple of volume bumps to take a look at. Netflix is flirting with the downside deviation. We've got a volume bump in Broadcom. It looks like we're probably going to get one as well in Amazon. Not quite at the we're not quite to the close yet, so we're going to get some more volume there. Moving on to the financials. The financials are pretty weak. We've got mostly downside CPS signals going. We do have a fairly late volume condition in a number of these names, so make sure you make note of that. We do have a deviation here in Morgan Stanley, but that's on kind of light volume. MasterCard MA's got a deviation to the downside. That one's not on light volume. And a little bit more weakness in ICE, and we could also have a deviation to the downside there with a pretty bearish candle on the chart. Moving on to the energy names, these are much more positive than the financials. This is really one of the points of strength in the broad market today. Upside CPS is in a lot of these names. Fairly decent volume in some too. Got good volume in Schlumberger. That one's got an upside CPS. Got good volume in Arch ACI. That one's doesn't have a signal, but it's having a pretty strong day. The only one that's really struggling today is ExxonMobil, but the rest of the patch looks pretty strong. As far as the generals go, we're pretty well paired off here with signals. Don't really have a good bias. There are a couple of volume bumps. Got some volume in Caterpillar. Got a lot of volume in IBM. IBM's got an upside CPS. Now it's 3.5% above the day's open, and that one is breaking out above the 200 DMA for the first time in a while. So that one is going to be one to watch for the next couple of days. Johnson & Johnson trading some decent volume as well today. Moving on to the housing names, we had our Case-Shiller number today in the new home sales, and what we're getting is mostly downside indications. Lowe's, Hovnanian, and Toll Brothers all have downside CPSs for tomorrow. I've got downside CPS, contra candle in CSX. Got a good bit of volume going in FedEx, FDX, but that one's trading to the downside versus the day's open. And Norfolk Southern's posting a upside CPS signal. And finally, onto the commodities, definitely where the action is not today. Look at the volume. Most of the volume's all to the downside here. Some of these things haven't even traded 50% of their typical volume yet, and there's only about 20 minutes left in today's trade. We do have an upside condition in potash and also U.S. steel. They're the non-precious metals variety in potash. Definitely could be one to watch for tomorrow. That one's pretty nicely above the day's open. All right, folks, as always, thanks for listening. This has been Rich for tradesight.